Democrats didn't expect to be in this position with Trump 2.0. Let me break it down. So, talking to a lot of my friends who are in Democratic politics, just kind of deep voters, just kind of perceiving everything. A lot of them give me the question, "Hey, why aren't Democrats fighting more?" And I think really is they didn't expect to be in this position. I think the Democrats expected to at least maintain the House and then be able to have that check on Donald Trump. And I think now that Republicans have the trifecta, it really kind of puts them into a situation where they didn't really expect to have to kind of be on the back foot. And so that's why you see a lot of inaction. James Carville said, just kind of let Trump, do his thing and he'll punch himself in the face and, do a lot of the work for you. So I think there's a little bit of that. But in terms of why are they not doing more, I would say it's because they just didn't plan on being in this position. They didn't expect to lose the House. I think they figured, hey, we could win the House. We will probably lose the Senate, and they definitely thought, they'd probably lose with Kamala Harris, or they thought maybe they had a shot, like a 50-50 shot. And they just didn't expect to be in this position. So when people come up to me and ask, hey, like, why are we not doing more? Why are we, not in a position? I think it's because leadership didn't expect to be in a position. And so now they're playing on the defensive instead of on the offensive. So when you have someone who, and especially people like Hakeem and Schumer, who are both from New York, both definitely entrenched in safe seats, they really don't understand kind of the gravity of the situation. And I think that they are people who are very conservative in how they are going to attack the other party. And so I think when you have that tallied with, just kind of not expecting to be in this position, you've got defensive players who need to be offensive, and it's just not what they're used to. So that's why I've always been someone who has called for kind of new leadership. And I think that's something that should be cycled out, right? So if we need someone who is an attack dog or whatever it is, you've got people like Ro Khanna. People sometimes say AOC, but you got people like Ro Khanna who are coming out and are really kind of taking the administration on. Those are people who really kind of need to have a little bit more seniority in the party, and really that just hasn't been something that we've seen. So I think they're trying to protect the power that they have, and then hope that in 2026 they can get the House, maybe even the Senate back, and then they can take on Trump. So I think they're also looking at Trump as someone who's going to self-destruct within the Republican Party. And they don't want to help that along, and they think that this is going to be another 2006 election where they're going to come in and start taking over some of the House and Senate, and then really be able to kind of put a candidate out there for 2028 who can be like Obama, can bring people together and kind of rally the troops, and then be able to kind of enact some change. So they're trying to think long term, but they also are not being aggressive enough short term to get what the party wants. So that's my thoughts. Like and subscribe if you. If you agree with me, and if you disagree with me, put it down below in the comments. I would love to hear that. Being where I'm at, I don't see a lot of viewpoints from other parts of the country. So definitely want to incorporate that into my views and just kind of get to know a little bit more. Thanks.